Hello everybody, today is Sunday the 14th of September and you're about to see the Twitch stream from last Monday where I made a card. And I just want to mention again that my card making videos are more about the process, they're not quick. It's also maybe more for beginners or people who don't know a lot about card making and just wonder how that works. So for a very, very professional card maker, it might be too slow and too boring. So that is that. So today is Monday the 8th of September. I have a whole box I want to work on. I think this is that. There, I've shown you that quickly in the YouTube video. This is with stuff that products I want to use. And there's 13 days until the market and I want to just make cards with that. But I didn't prepare anything right now because I don't know, when I prepare it doesn't get better. So I want to look through my stuff and see what I want to use, not those. I want to make either birthday cards or also Christmas cards because I don't have any. But it's September, so it's still a bit early. Wow. It's also when you have a lot of stuff, then it gets hard to do something. Like those. Okay, I'm gonna use, also want to use those actually. And those are cute too. Eine Seekuh, would be kind of a lake cow or something, which is called a dugong, which is called a manatee. Oh, it's on here, isn't it? They are adorable. So I'm gonna start with stamping them and then see where it goes. And I stamped them on a mouse mat. It's better stamping like that. Those cards are just from Migros, I think. Okay, I often go and wash those in the kitchen, but I'm not gonna do that now. I'm also somebody who has stage fright stuffs, and I wanted to become a teacher, which is a nightmare job when you have problems speaking in front of people. I'm having here the warm grays. I have them all, I think, and before I color, I just put them in order: 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then I go, I don't think that light, but I go with those 3. Maybe I make one a bit lighter than the other one, and I just color it all with, what is it, warm gray 3, W3. I do color the whole thing and wet the paper, and then I go over with my next darker color. I try to think of where the shades would be at, shadows. Now under here. Also, I don't know where the light's coming from. Yeah. And then I go one darker. And I forgot the back fin again. Often happens. So especially under here needs to be darker. Here a bit maybe. And then I go back with the others. Blend it out. Wait, that was the camera again. Is it working? Okay. It's at half an hour already. So. And then I do all of it again with the lightest color. And there's other ways you can do that. You can just you could start with the darkest one where the shadows go and blend it out from there, but I've tried that. I cannot do it. I always have to do everything and then go again where the shadows are. And it's also nice when you leave a little white line at the end. Okay, it's not white, but it's a bit lighter there. You might not even see that. Okay, so that is one. And now we go a bit darker, so I put aside the W3 and I just pick the next one And I'll start with a 4. Okay, this is kind of a bit empty-ish. That's every time when I color, then there's one empty, one tip is it's not even dried out, but sometimes it's so disgusting and sticky. I had that problem last time. I need something. Okay, now again a bit darker. So I think the light's from there somehow. So the belly is in the shadow. Whatever. And then darker. And blend it out. Okay, but what I said before has something to do with now too, because when I'm in presentation mode, I'm on survival mode. And then you have fight or flight or freeze, and it's very hard to be creative. So I really need to practice to have that camera on and just try to do this. And yeah, that's why I'm already thinking about later on. I will try to figure out what kind of card I want to make, and I need to take my time for that. So I might be quiet when I think about that or think it out loud. I have no clue right now, and I just need to take my time. So. And refill the thing. Yeah, okay. Or because I want to have I think a square card, just flat cards. I'm just doing flat cards right now. I do like making interactive cards. I also have Citicen. I can make a card be lighting up or something, but that includes some thinking. So I just want to have a nice background. And I want to have German sentiments because my parents and my family appreciate some German. Also others who come to markets. I'm going to market on the 20th of September. And it's attached to a retirement home. So more elderly people. And they don't speak English. So this is what came to mind. Scalloped. Square, actually. Or round could be fun too. Okay, nothing special. We're doing nothing special. We just try. Okay, so I'm gonna try round. Like this one. Could be cute, huh? Alles Liebe. I mean, that works fine, no? Scalloped. That could be nice, huh? Yeah. And then I ink blend that with blue and green. Okay. Ugh. Crafting is not for the faint-hearted. So annoying. I also want to have everything within reach, but that's not possible either. Okay, I have all the colors. And I'm very happy about that. So I want Mermaid Lagoon, which one would think is nice with peacock feathers, but it's not. Doesn't mix well. Maybe I should try peacock feathers. They bite a bit then. Okay. And I store my sponges in here. When I say sponges, I think of Marine Simon, who is a card maker from France, and I love her accent. Also, when she says the edgies, it's so cute. So sponges, peacock feathers, and Mermaid Lagoon. Or green. Ooh, I take a green because there will be seagrass and stuff. And I don't know, rustic wilderness. Or evergreen blue, which is not so evergreen. This is very dirty. Oh. Okay. So it's nearly a sport to make cards. Evergreen. Evergreen. And I always try to have everything close by, and there's always something I need to get. Okay. So now the theory is there's a little seaweed grass bottom floor. Alright. Okay, I cannot do that. My hand starts acting up. And now, when I have that on here, I just want another color to show up. And there will be some kind of green. Could be rustic wilderness. With a little pine needle around the edges, maybe. But I don't have to ink blend the whole thing. So, let's do this. I don't know. Okay, starting to sort like that. Now this is like that. Go. Did I try the nice one? Blue, clear skies. Or yellow. This is Later Gator. Or, oh, it's dusty. Slippery when wet, which is kind of yellow. And I have stencils. And I could make some kind of, or not. Or I could just make the outer things a bit darker. Yeah. I just thought some yellow or something would be nice. Ah, okay. I make sprinkles, speckles, like color dots in yellow. Okay. Well, let's have that back on. That already looks a bit better. Okay, I'm not doing that. It's nice to have them. So next step, speckles. So the cool thing with ink oxide is it reacts with water. So I can put that on my hand and then sprinkle it on. So much fun. Okay. And then where the water hits it, it gets a bit lighter. Well, one can also get it off right away if one wants to. But I usually just let it dry. Just does a little. There's okay. And does it sharpen? Okay. So I need my speckles. Ooh, sorry. I have a lot of what are they called? Perfect Pearls powder. And I need to get my things. Well, I've just washed them. I can also show them here. And those are just tiny glasses. There was honey in there. That was from a advent calendar I gave to my dad. Oh. So if I want to emboss, which I want to, I like to emboss the sentiment. I should do that before I do the speckles, because where the speckles end up, this won't stick anymore. Again, it's too dry. So that was in the wrong order. Unless I do clear gloss. So now where the paper is sticky and I want to use embossing powder, where it's wet, it's sticky, and the embossing powder would stick all over there. And then where the embossing powder is on and melted, you cannot draw over or color over it. But I don't want to do that anyway. And if the embossing powder is clear, it doesn't matter that it's now kind of wet. Okay. You can also, there's different, I don't know who would be watching, but you can have colored embossing powders, like silver, or others, blue, there's also blue and stuff, or all the colors, green. Yeah, and I have quite a few. I don't have that one. But you can also do clear gloss. And clear gloss is cool with pigment ink, which is my ink pad thingy. There's dye ink and there's pigment ink. The dye ink goes into the paper and the pigment ink stays on the paper. And when you stamp something with that and then put the embossing powder on it and heat blow it, then it takes it out. It's lovely. I will show you. And you can, normally you would use this Versamark. This is a sticky ink. And then you have to stamp it once and then you can stick any kind of powder to it, then heat blow it, and it will melt. When you do it with a normal ink pad, the powder just sticks to the wetness of the stamped image. So you want to stamp it a few times. That's why you need a stamping platform. I think it's not possible without. You would also use anti-static powder tool, which is baby powder or cornstarch. Well, yeah, I can put that on. Which makes the paper not sticky for the powder. So afterwards it would only stick where you stamped, either with a sticky ink or your pigment ink. As long as you don't touch it all the time. So just a quick rough cut. I wanted to do that actually where it dries. Yeah, I'm cutting it. And it's called fussy cutting. And you can either go right to the edge of the stamp or leave a millimeter. At the beginning, I mean, I started 5 years ago with that stuff and found that a bit weird. But when you cut right next to the line so that there's no white, you sometimes have to go over the edge with a black pen because you would see the cut, the kind of the middle of the paper. And that is one step more I don't want to do. And yeah, fussy cutting tip number 77. Turn the page, not the scissors. And also a certain pull and push and pull was in there, but that hurts my hand. But I'm surprised. I got way further than I thought at the beginning of this. And I want to do that every day now. Practice, practice. It is always slow. The coloring and the fussy cutting is what makes card making a bit longer, I think. Also the idea of finding the knowing what to do. Okay, I did already the anti-static powder. So I'm putting those on. I'm also putting some magnets. And then I get my sentiment. Just as alles Liebe. It could be just because, or for birthday, or for, I don't know, just say hello. And then that goes here. Pick it up. And get stuff ready for the thing. So I have a paper where I put my powder over to the side. Now stamp it a few times. Put my embossing powder on it. I don't think it was the paper or something. It's the same stuff I usually use. And you can see it's kind of matte there. Still around. And then you take the thing. It's gonna be loud, sorry. Okay, that's just very, very cool magic that happens with. How hard is it to here? And you see that gloss that is from the molten powder. It still looks very weird. I think this needs some gold speckles and shits is under. I do have gold. That's okay. Gold copper. It's so loud, I'm sorry. Oh, maybe those. Those. Hey, isn't that nice? Okay. On the bottom part. I know what I can do. I need to do some decoration, like seaweed. That means die cutting. Seaweed stuffs. Is this from Marianne Design? Because I love that thing. It's just super cool. But I just recently got long font. That's a coral, isn't it? That is not seaweed, is it? Huh? Sorry. Kind of waiting for a reply. But I also have this succulent. This also looks like seaweed. I take that one. Okay. I wish there was more longer ones. This is perfect. And more of that. This green. This green. Some inks to make this green a bit nicer. Okay. Good trick. And pincers. And voila. And we do that a few more times. Maybe like the clover. And the cool thing about it is that the spongy fits in the back. So they all have their own sponge. And I just wanna dab it a bit. See, you barely see it. Maybe it's a bit better on the screen. it goes into the paper. With time it gets even a bit darker. So at the beginning one doesn't even see it. Or maybe I don't see it with my glasses. Oh yeah, that's also different, but I already get a headache. It's crazy. So here comes a short voiceover, because what I'm talking about there is stuff you've already heard about my eyes and things. So I'm taking pine needles here as a second color, and I go over the bottom part of the green again, and I think it turns out lovely. And I do that with all the others too, but it's quite boring to see. So I'm gonna skip to the result of all the ink blending. And now I would have this and that. And clean that a bit. Oh, that could be nice. Have those on here. And then I have those things. They could also come from behind. Now I also don't know if I want to have it like raised a bit. So do I want to have that flat on it or like a bit higher? I might want to have that a bit higher. Okay, I just start somehow. So, I should have started with those dugongs. So I'm trying to have it in the middle. I can look at the scallops and aim them and line them up. Okay, now the dugongs. Manatee. I think that's such a nice name. I wonder how one gets to manatee when we call it sea cow. I'm going with this green. I think that that is lovely. Okay, maybe here 13. I really don't like to measure. I always do like measure it by handleg mal P. Wrist times P. That's I don't know if one says that in other languages. It's a German saying. What is the thing? So okay, let's put that. So I'm gonna finish this with the decorating, and then I make an envelope, and then I'm done. I'm switching it off. I don't know if somebody's watching, but I'm just saying. Yeah. Just so you know. Yeah, well, I really seem to be dragging out that decoration. So now this is how it looks, and I kind of make my own paper. I just made patterns with Procreate, and yeah, with the effects they have. So, but I tried to have all the colors a bit. So now I went all green, but my green's already gone. So oh, there's a green. Okay. I love that bokeh effect, and very easy. So I'm taking. And I have two ways of making envelopes. One is with this envelope maker. But for that to work, I need the card to be able to fit on a square that is 21 by 21 centimeters, because this is a normal European A4 paper and it needs to be square. And the biggest square you can get out of a European A4 paper is 21 by 21. And now I cut that. I have a marking here. Okay. So. And it needs to fit on it with about what, also, you need to center it. You need to have ein gleichschenkliges Dreieck da. this triangle needs to have the same lengths here. And when you put it there, you need it to have about 1.5 centimeter distance to the edges. I mean, if you don't have a thingy like that, then it doesn't matter. but maybe you wonder how that works. Because I sometimes need to buy something because I wonder how it works, and then it turns out it's not that cool. Because I do now by trial and error. This should be fine because it has some wiggle room, I think. Sometimes I have to make it a lot because then it doesn't fit, but that's more with rectangle cards. So this is the line I want to score. So I'm putting it to that line. This is here. And I still hope I fit the card in here. And if I imagine a line that goes up here, that it fits there too. Get it? Okay. Now I score this here. And then I turn it around and I have to line it up with a score guide. And score it all around. And if it doesn't fit on a square like that, I need to do my other tactic, which is just normal with a scoreboard and try to make it work. Okay, now let's see. Let's see the square, and it fits in nicely. Super. Then I need the notch maker that comes with a set. If you buy that, I think you get one of these with it. And I need to cut out those notches. To round my corners, that's on the other side here. So, corners. Okay. Score thingy. Okay. Score tape. And I can check it, well, one of the score tape on here and glue that on. But to see where I have to put it, so I don't put it too high and then it sticks out, I put this under. But actually it's so short, I don't see it. Well, I would see how, okay, I can also make a line. Or just, okay, just aim for it. It just needs to be under the other thingy. Like, kind of there. There. And, kind of there. So. It's easier with a rectangle one, where you have, this part would be longer than those. Maybe just did it wrong. Maybe it's just a perfect rectangular card thing. So, and that goes in here. Okay, voila. Weird envelope. I also put some very thin score tape on this part. I take the thinnest because it's so strong, and I sent them cards to all my family. they always had problems opening the envelopes. Especially the Christmas post was in a nice envelope, which I also decorated. They didn't want to break it. They had to operate it out. Okay, so I also need to put the stamp. That's so cool. Because that image that's on there is a letter, an envelope, and a heart. And that was one of those freebie images that was on there. And that's perfect when you send a card like this. It's kind of what it is. And, okay. Ta-da! And I'm done. Now we'll clean up a bit and then I will switch it off. And thank you so much for watching. And cheers. Leftover things, I can use them too for an envelope. I add some next to each other, or I don't know, die cut something. Well, there's those. And those go in here. And I have some leftover things with fish and stuff still. So again, thank you, and see you tomorrow maybe, around the same time. Bye! Ending.